Well, I think actually personally, I think it's changed. Perhaps it was a period where the bigger players were entrenched in their heartlands. Right now, we've, as I said, accessed a piece of acreage in the Gambia. We'll be drilling there within 2 years of access. We are currently, drilling and operating a well in Mauritania called Orca, and that was announced as a discovery 2 weeks ago. And we're still drilling there. So even as a big operator, we're not just there for the development, but we are exploring and making the biggest discoveries by industry. Well, it is difficult. There is competition, for sure, and the competition has been greater than I think it has ever been. The Gulf of Mexico and the onshore US have the best terms, on the planet. So that's hard to compete with. But it doesn't mean that we don't believe that parts of Africa are open for business, especially where they've sat down, really listened to how to attract, big corporate players, like BP, and I think they've now done that in Angola. For about 3 or 4 years, investment had dried up because the fiscals just wasn't there anymore. The government take was too high. There were too many complexities built in. But what's the new president done? He's invited all the IOCs, the managing directors in. He's listened and enacted 4 new laws. And since then, two licenses have been extended, Block 15 and 18. 3 projects have been sanctioned, and we can see a lot more. And actually, exploration projects are now competing again for capital. And that is the true test of success, I think. When that starts happening, I know a country is open for business. I think at the highest level, we like the transparency of a license round. As long as it's well put together, it's clean and simple. But sometimes, a license round, doesn't work. You've tried it, whether the block sizes are too small or for some other reason you don't get the people bidding on what you want. Then having an open door policy afterwards to come back and get people to nominate acreage, listening, I think is a good thing. And then if you still want some competition, you could say, well, once that acreage has been nominated, put it back up and give a period where other companies can apply and compete. So for us, it really doesn't matter. I think when I first showed up in 2012, I was on my own, representing BP. Yes, we had production in Angola and Egypt and Algeria. But actually those countries didn't really show up at this conference either. Since then, as I say, now we've got an upstream presence in 10 countries, a downstream and a midstream presence, if you total up, in more than 50% of the African nations. We've got a big booth now with 16 people, and the Minister of Senegal was here. The Minister of Mauritania, planned to be coming, may still come here, and all the ministers of the countries that we are in are now showing up to the event, which makes it ever more important. Well, I guess today I was had the privilege of being invited to represent the IOCs on a symposium that was especially there for the ministers, the national oil companies and the regulators. The room was completely packed, and we were actually starting a dialogue and a discussion on how to get the right balance between attracting investment to a country and making sure that there's a fair kind of revenue and profits share between the IOCs, who take all the risks, and the resource holders, the country, that are custodians of their own resource. As always, because everybody in industry is here, my agenda is almost overpacked with the possibilities to have meetings and engagements, with ministers, national oil companies, and partners, that we're really having to pick and choose. There are some great content there, whether it's a prospect forum or just on stage, and yet I've got all these opportunities to meet people, and how do you pick and choose what makes and adds most value, to you during the 5 days that we're here.